Now, what is the idea behind micro teaching? The idea behind micro teaching is that those potential teachers, those student teachers who are under training should not be thrown into full-fledged class to go and teach. Say if the period is for 45 minutes, okay, this is the topic, you have got enough theoretical knowledge, we have taught you different methods, different techniques, and provided you all theoretical background, told you 10 professional standards of good teachers, competencies of teachers. Now go ahead. This is your class and go and teach. No, we normally do not do that. Teaching is a not an easy task. It seems an easy task. We have been going to schools and in right from primary classes onward, we have been coming the teachers and coming and teaching. And to us, it seems, well, they are old people, they are quite mature people, they have masters in their own subject. So they come, they ask what to teach, and after knowing the topic, they start off like that. When that is expected of them, no, that's not the case. Teaching, as I said, is a complex process. It And if you want to train some young students to become a teacher, potential teacher, then you should give him the opportunity to teach at smaller level, micro level, smaller level, micro level. Here comes the word micro teaching. What we do in micro level. Normally, if the class is of 15 minutes, 45 minutes, we in micro teaching, we say, okay, your topic, content size would be reduced, your time would be reduced, right? And your number of students will also be reduced. So go and practice how to teach for 15 minutes or 12 minutes or 20 minutes. And progressively we increase the time till we think that he or she is mature enough to take now 35 minutes class. So that is what is meant by micro teaching, that it scales down teaching encounter. Instead of 35 minutes, 15 minutes, 10 minutes, 12 minutes. The content, instead of full lesson, one paragraph, right? So that is what we mean by micro teaching. As I said, teaching is a difficult task. Teaching is not an easy task. With experience, you become a real competent teacher. When you are about to go to take a fresh class, there is a lot of mental activities which goes on in your mind. On this slide, you find at least 4 questions you should pose to yourself, or they would come to your mind when you are about to go to take the class. Who am I going to teach? First question. Who am I going to teach? Whether I'm going to teach class 3 or KG class or class 6th or a class 12 or a master degree class. First question, very obvious question. Who would be sitting in front of me? And for that particular reason, then the is what I am going to teach. That comes second. All questions are interrelated. Whom I'm going to teach? I'm going to teach ninth class. What I'm going to teach? I am going to teach them English. In English, what particular thing I am going to teach? Some prose, some poetry, some drama, or some grammar, some essay writing, some comprehension. What I'm going to teach? Okay, I'm going to teach them poetry today. And in that poetry, maybe there's a poem of Wordsworth, which I'm going to teach to them. Daffodils. Third question. How will I teach? How will I teach? That means methodology. What method I would use? I'll think, okay, I'll pick up the book and tell the students to open the relevant page where there's a poem Daffodils, and I'll go for a model reading first. Second reading maybe I do it. Then I may ask one of the students who I consider good at pronunciation and accent to and to repeat it. Wherever there are mistakes, I'll keep on correcting. 2, 3 students would have a reading. After the reading is over, then I'll again take on and I say, these are the difficult words. Because the first thing, why I am stressing on reading, if you have read a poem correct, half of the job is done. Reading English poetry is an art. You need a technique. You do not go line by line as in Urdu poetry. इब्ने मरियम हुआ करे कोई, मेरे दुख की दवा करे कोई, हमें मुश्ताक वो है बेजार, या इलाही ये माजरा क्या है. English poetry is not read like that. English poetry is read according to punctuation marks. If there's no punctuation mark at the end of the line, you do not stop as you stop after first line in ghazal in Urdu. So that is how reading. Probably I have narrated this before also, but worth repeating. Last stanza of the same poem, Daffodils, I still remember by heart, was for oft when on my couch I lay, in vacant or in pensive mood, they flash upon my inward eye. That is the bliss of solitude. And then my heart with pleasure fills and dances with the daffodils. If you have read it, recited it, the word is better, correctly, you recite the poems, you read the prose. If you've recited the poem correctly, you have done the half of the job. Then the job left is how I will teach. I'll tell you oft. This word oft means often. Couch, bed, lay, lie. In vacant mood without having any thoughts. Pensive mood, sad mood. They flash upon my inward eye. This is outward eye with which you are seeing. Inward eye. That means maybe you are not looking, but you are seeing it in your mind. That is inward eye. That's how you would explain. And the last thing is how I am going to evaluate whatever I have taught to the students. I'll have formative assessment also, and I will have summative assessment also. That is how I'll do to find out how well I have taught and how well the students have learned. These four questions are the basic questions which come in the mind of even a seasoned or professional teacher like me. They should come in my mind, and they should come in the mind of a student teacher also, young teacher, student teacher also, alike. So if they are going for micro teaching, same questions would arise in the mind, and the process of micro teaching would be number one. If the normal class size is normally it is around 30 to 40 in the at school level, reduce it to about 5 to 10 pupils, 5 to 10 students. Reduce the class size. That is number one. While you are making an arrangement of micro teaching, the process goes like that. That first reduce the group, because you have to give practice to the potential teacher, the young teachers. Second, length of the lesson. I mentioned while defining what is micro teaching, I told you length of the lesson reduced to about 10 to 15, 5 to 10 minutes. Remember the figure? 5 to 10 students, 5 to 10 minutes. In the initial this definition, I told you you can go up to 15. When you are, as you are getting experienced, you are getting more confidence, you are getting less hesitant, increase the size of the class and increase the time of the class also. Then third thing, focus one teaching skill at a time. Try to understand this. This is difficult line. What do I mean by focus? One teaching skill at a time. There are several teaching skills, many teaching skills. If I am your supervisor as a teacher and I give you a micro teaching practice, I'll give you a topic and tell you that today I am going to observe how you introduce your lesson, how you link up with previous lesson. One skill. Next day, I might say, okay, today I am going to focus on your formative and summative assessment of the lesson, how you do it in the class, how you do it by applying question answer technique. What are the components of micro teaching? The trainee, students, which we have already said 5 to 10, observers, two students that may be fellow students of that trainee, or that may be two observers from teachers, and then the supervisor, that is myself. I am a teacher's trainer or master trainer. I would be, after delivering that lecture as I'm doing it now, I'll tell, okay, tomorrow you will come for micro teaching on this particular topic. This is going to be the students group, and these two class fellow of yours would be also sitting as observer, because they would learn from your good points and they would learn from your mistakes as well. And then obviously the master trainer or the supervisor would take his observation and inform. So what would happen there? It is just not like that, that one day I'll pick up one student who would give the micro lesson. Somebody stands up, okay, go on the stage and start delivering. No, it's not like that. It's well planned. It's well planned. And after planning, that is lesson planning plus all activities planned, then the teaching is done, then the feedback is given, then based on the feedback the student teaches replans, and then reteaches, and then re-feedback. So this cycle goes on, and we try to achieve perfection in teaching as far as possible.